and Albert Gallatin certainly misses his presence inside.
Yeah, that's very, very unfortunate, but as Coach Dan Andrea would say, hey, you got to go with the cards you got, Coach. That's all you can do. Go with the cards you got.
Meanwhile, the Raiders hadn't won a game in the section all year, but they won their most recent game Tuesday night against Penn Trafford, and they're trying to build on that. Their problem all year, outside shooting.
Well, Chuck, give me the mic and you go suit up, and then they could solve that problem.
I don't think I'm eligible, although I never did finish 12th grade. Maybe I could squeeze a game in there. Hey, tonight it's Uniontown and Albert Gallatin. Should be a lot of fun. We'll talk with the head coaches and then come back with the starting lineups and the opening tap next on Herald Standard Television Sports.
If you've been injured, you need an advocate who will work for you and only you. Davis & Davis, your hometown team of professionals, are experienced attorneys who represent injured people and not insurance companies.
Our clients put their faith in us. Nothing is more gratifying than succeeding on their behalf. Thank you from all of us. We appreciate your trust.
When you've been hurt, call Davis & Davis, the experienced, effective hometown team of professionals.
Here with Coach Kaczmarski, and Coach, rough start to the season, but looked a lot better earlier this week. Is it a different approach or just better execution?
The kids are playing really well right now. I think we shot 59% the last game we played. In some games we didn't shoot that high percentage, but the kids have worked really hard, and we just want to find a way to win tonight.
Now, of course, Albert Gallatin, that tough inside game over the past few years, they don't have Nate Turner, so does that change their approach, or I guess better yet, does it change your approach?
They're still 6'9", and we're 5'10", and our tallest kid's 6'2", so they have a huge height advantage, so we have to do a very good job team rebounding the basketball.
Going to try to open it up a little bit maybe and run with them?
We just want to keep playing the way we played the last couple games, and I think our kids will be okay.
Good luck tonight, Coach.
Good luck, guys.
On the floor with Coach Andrea, and Coach, obviously so far this year not what some people expected, but still you're right there in the postseason hunt, and some positives recently to build on, correct?
Yeah, well, you know, Chuck, what they expected was us to have 3 starters back. We only got 1. And you lose a guy like Turner and you lose a Josh Holt, you can't be as good. But, you know, we've moved past that, and, you know, these kids are working hard. Our thing is scoring. Our defense has been solid. The kids come out to play it every night. We're working on getting that third score, and we're dependent on kids, for the most part, who were JV players last year, and it takes time to grow into a varsity player in Quad A.
Now, going up against Uniontown, they're known for they want to run the ball, they want to get the ball up and down the court. How do you combat that?
We don't want to turn the ball over. We don't want their defense to give them points. But, you know, we like to push the ball, too. You know, and last year, you know, we ran with them last year. And our kids, they like to run. So I'm not going to go away from my strength. I'm going to have to stick with my strength. But here again, it comes down to us with the defense. You know, we have to play it. If you look at our section, you know, we gave up 50, I think 52, gave up 53 at Collinsville, 54 here at Hemphill. We lost 55, 54. At Norwin, and then the other night we held Penn Trafford to 51. We have to do that. If we don't, we can't outscore people.
You guys, of course, are thinking about your position in the section, obviously, and looking ahead to trying to qualify for the playoffs, but at the same time, you're playing your rival tonight, Uniontown. How does that add to the game?
Well, it makes it more exciting. You know, and I'll tell you, Chuck, we haven't really talked too much about playoffs. There's still a long way to go, and you know, when you're struggling a little bit, you just worry about that next game. And that's what I told the kids the other night at Penn Trafford, and that's what we're doing, the next game.
Big one tonight. Good luck, Coach.
Thanks.
Gerke's Exxon service, located on 131 East Fayette Street, has been in business for 57 years. With the lowest new tire prices in town and their quick in-and-out service, they are hard to beat. Across from Uniontown High School, new, used, and retread tires available. Go Red Raiders!
And welcome back. Chuck Durso along with Jess Hudson, and we're just about ready to get underway. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for tonight. We'll start off with the Uniontown Red Raiders. Number 4, Steve Kaczmarski, is a 5'10 senior guard, averaging 6 points per game. And he's joined by number 24, Mark Umbel, a 5'10 senior point guard who runs this Uniontown offense. In the front court, number 22, junior guard Kevin Sanders. He is 5'10. Really a swing man, big guard, small forward. Number 3 is Josh Thomas, a 6'1 junior forward, and the big man in the middle, number 44, Adam Franzek. He is a 6'3 senior. Rob Kaczmarski is your head coach for the Uniontown Red Raiders. coming into this game with a record of 1-5 in the section. They are 6-8 overall on the year. They're wearing, of course, the maroon with the white numerals and trim. They're road unis. They'll be taking on the Albert Gallatin Colonials in their home whites, trimmed in silver and black. Taking a look at the starting lineups for the Colonials. Number 0, Logan Howard is a 6-foot junior. He is joined in the backcourt by number 42, 6'2", senior guard Justin King, who transferred from Connellsville High School to Albert Gallatin for this senior season, and he is the point guard for the Colonials. Number 15 is Justin/Donald Alston. We like to go by Donald. He's a 6'3" senior forward. He wears number 15. Number 25 is Ricky Knox. He is a 6'1" junior forward, and the big man in the middle, 6'8" junior, Donald's big little brother, number 32, Jawan Alston. Coach Dan Andrea, the head coach for the Colonials, who come into this game with a record of 7-7 on the season. They are 2-4 in Section 2. Quade Connellsville leading the section at 6-0. Norman and Hempfield tied for second and 5-1, and then you have AG tied with Kiski and Penn Trafford at 2-4 for that final playoff spot, but Uniontown lurking a game back along with Latrobe, tied for last at 1-5, but a Uniontown win ties them with AG. Now Kiski tonight is playing Latrobe, so we have to assume Kiski probably going to get their third win. So AG needs to win to stay even with Kiski for that final playoff spot at the midway point. Uniontown, of course, to stay a game back, unless, of course, Latrobe pulls off the upset.
Still a lot of basketball left to be played. 7 section games left after tonight, and Uniontown really very deceptive 1-5 record, although 1-5 is 1-5, but 4 of their 5 losses very, very competitive. Only the one blowout loss to Connellsville.
Albert Gallatin wins the opening tap, and they will get the first possession as they work the ball around. Now we get the jumper, unbelievable to start things off. Logan Howard putting AG in the lead. Uniontown gets their first possession now, and Albert Gallatin in the man-to-man. Franzek flashes inside, short jumper is no good. Long rebound comes out to Sanders. Uniontown gets a second chance. And a travel is called up top on Kesmarski. We talked during the pregame that outside shooting has been the bugaboo for the Raiders. They have not been able to shoot well from the outside, and that's been a problem they've had for a couple of seasons, actually. You really go back to Brandon Duncan, probably the last consistent outside threat they had. They look for Kesmarski to hit it from outside, and if he can find the range, that'll certainly help Uniontown's chances. They've got to find a way to stop that Albert Gallatin inside game, though, and Jawan Alston gets his first 2 of the night. Colonials with the first 5. 1 minute into this one. Baseline jumper is short by Thomas. Here come the Albert Gallatin Colonials. There's a travel. Ricky Knox shuffled the feet. First AG turnover.
A lot of empty seats tonight here, Chuck.
You read my mind.
A lot of empty seats.
Just about to point out that the crowd nowhere near in comparison to when we came here last year. A lot more was at stake then as Uniontown throws it away. When these teams met last year, it of course was the section finale, and first place was on the line. Here comes Donald Alston on the drive. Each Alston with a field goal, and Coach Kesmarski wants a quick timeout. 6:35 left in the first quarter. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll take a break as well. Back with more on Herald Standard Television Sports.
When it comes to chiropractic wellness, look no further than the office of Dr. Gary B. Sutton, located on George's Fairchance Road in Smithfield. For over 33 years, Dr. Gary B. Sutton has specialized in pain and injuries of the spine due to home, auto, and work-related accidents. Contact Dr. Sutton to schedule regular chiropractic checkups just for the health of it.
Welcome back. Quick timeout by Coach Kesmarski as AG gets the first 7.
Good timeout. Very good timeout. A lot of basketball left to be played, and you don't win the game in the first minute and 25 seconds. So, long way to go, Chuck. Glad to be with you tonight. Thanks for having me.
Feels like home. Doing a big game next to Jess Hudson. I know it's a big one. With J to the is and H to the is-o, or whatever, however it goes. Offensive rebound by Francis. Everybody left alone, so he shot it on Ricky Knox. His first personal. Uniontown will inbounds under the basket. And a turnover. Alston tries to get it to King, and that didn't work, and AG turns it right back over. Now underneath, Umball gets the drop. First two of the night for the Raiders. It's a 7-2 ball game. Started to mention before the timeout, we went to break, when these two teams met last year, the section title was on the line. That's off the foot of Sanders. AG will inbounds. Of course, Albert Gallatin came into that game a game back of Uniontown. They pulled out the big win here on this court, and the two teams were section co-champions last year. For Uniontown, of course, the first of many. Travel called inside on Alston. Uniontown has won more section titles than anybody in the WPIAL. For Albert Gallatin, that was their first ever, as far as the current Albert Gallatin is concerned, since consolidation back in the mid to late 80s. Boy, that was a huge game, and what a huge crowd, and what a great atmosphere it was. This one a little different, but that happens when the two teams come in with the combined 3 section victories. We're going to get a foul now called. And that one's going to be called on Knox in his second. Before the entry pass, little contact, Uniontown will inbounds.
When I talked with Uniontown coach Rob Kazmarski before the game, he said, hey, we might be 1-5, but we're in a playoff hunt, and we'll take a wild card just like the Steelers. So he's got the right attitude.
That's the way you got to look at it right now. And a 3-ball, corner pocket. Kazmarski. It's a 2-point game. Into the game for Albert Gallatin on that last break was Mark Marshall, number 35, as Knox sits down with his 2 fouls. Jawan Alston tries to drive, and Adam Franzek says, son, you don't have to go home, but you got to get out of here. I'm usually saying that about Alston, not against him. Pump fake off the back rim. And a steal by Alston off the rebound. Nice play. And he'll wisely wait for his mates. And then King went up into the air. Alston wasn't looking for that pass, and Justin King says, my bad.
Well, there's a case where King's a little bit too unselfish, tried to do a little too much. Got a nice jump shot from the foul line. Just take it. Alston will get the rebound if you miss.
4:50 left in the first period. AG scored the first 7. Now Uniontown on a 5-point run. Umball on the turnaround. No good. Alston with the rebound. Look out behind him. Sanders looking for the steal. Outside jumper, no good by Logan Howard. Offensive putback by Jawan. 4 points for Alston. We have to specify when we say Alston. There's 2 of them out on the court, of course. The brothers, Donald, number 15, Jawan, number 35. Approaching the midway point of the first period, AG by 4. Jawan Alston says, this is my world. You're just a squirrel trying to get a nut. He blocks jump shots. Look out inside. Oh, and the foul. Going to be called on Marshall. And that's one where you almost want to say, if you're an AG fan, to Marshall, just let him shoot and let Jawan block it.
Great point, Chuck. But we play on instinct. Sure. We don't have time to do all those intelligent type things that you English professors do.
We don't think when we broadcast. We can't expect them to think all the time.
Thank goodness
right?
we don't. Thank goodness we're very limited, Chuck.
Josh Thomas missing on his first free throw. Missed on both. Tim Durst back here just in the game. Gets the offensive rebound. And puts up a 3-ball.
And Tim Durst stays hot, Chuck. 24, career high last game. If he can stay hot tonight, Uniontown will be in pretty good shape.
A steal. The Raiders with a chance to take the lead, but restolen. King, nice look inside. A little bit off target. Marshall couldn't shoot. Comes back around to King. He can't get the three. That's what they're looking to do. Put the ball up. It's like volleyball. Jawan will get the rebound if you miss it.
To finish the thought, if Durst can stay hot, that gives them an added spark off the bench, and Uniontown needs a spark offensively.
We're going to get a foul called on AG. We've had 4 fouls in the game, and all of them have been called on Albert Gallatin. 2 on Ricky Knox, who's on the bench. Mark Marshall, who came in for him, has now picked up his second foul. And once again, Josh Thomas will shoot a pair. 3:17 remaining, first period. Thomas is 0 for 3 from the line. Into the game now for Albert Gallatin, number 22, Robbie Jarosco. And now Marshall will take a seat. I mentioned Durst in the game. Quindell Dean, number 20, or not Quindell Dean, check that, number 13, I should say. John Farrell, now in the game for Uniontown as well. Long jumper by Donald Alston, no good. Don't know if you want him taking that shot, falling out of bounds, but able to get the ball to Kesmarski was Durst. It's 11-8. Uniontown could tie it with a home run. Umble on the dribble drive. Over Donald Alston. 4 points for Umble. Tim Durst knocks it out of bounds as he was harassing Jarosco in the corner. 2:38 remaining here in the first period. And a steal by Durst. Can't get the shot to go, but Umbo with the follow, and the Raiders have their first lead of the night. 6 points in the first quarter for Mark Umbo.
Justin Alston, too easy, Chuck. Gave him the baseline. No defensive help from the weak side. Just too easy for AG.
4 points now for the senior Alston. AG back in the lead, and stepping out of bounds was Umble. AG inbounds. Into the corner. Alston for 3, no good. Long rebound to Durst. Uniontown a chance to regain the lead. Look at Jawan Alston knocking it out of bounds. Hey, don't forget to catch News 19 every weeknight at 7, 10:30, and midnight with all the local news, sports, and weather you need, plus features with Warren Grychek, sports commentary and Dutch Sounds Off, Timeout for Sports with Jess Hudson, Healthy Awareness with Doreen Bagay, and so much more. Spend each evening with anchors Corinne Slish, Matt Malik, and meteorologist Guy Nestor. News 19, your only locally produced newscast. The 3-ball by Justin King, no good. Out of bounds off of Donald Alston. Uniontown will inbounds with a chance to retake the lead. 1:40 remaining here in the first period. Mark Umble brings it down court. Adam Franzek. And a steal. Donald Alston. Didn't really have numbers. Probably should have slowed that down. Foul will be called on King coming over the back. The 5th team foul on Albert Gallatin here in this first quarter. And Uniontown has not committed a foul yet. First on King. Hope you're enjoying our boy-girl doubleheader here on HSTV on Martin Luther King Day. It's a holiday, so we bring you twice the fun. You saw that girls game a few moments ago before this game. The girls game actually was played Saturday night. This game being played on Friday the 13th. Who's going to have the good luck on Friday the 13th? Durst misses that shot, and Jawan Alston with the rebound. Are you superstitious, Jess?
I am not.
Getting his 3 on. Logan Howard not either. His second trifecta of the period. He has 6. Colonials by 4. And now Umble is fouled on a 3-ball as Jarosco a little over-eager defensively, and Umble.
I'm not sure he called 3, is he?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't see his 3 go up on the shot, but I believe he was behind the line. Uniontown 0 for 4 so far at the line, Chuck, so Humble needs to get him on track here with his three-shot foul.
Probably the best free throw shooter that the Red Raiders have, and he drops that one in.
And Humble's shown a lot of explosiveness tonight. He can get by his man and elevate around the hoop.
Averaging 10 points per game is Humble, and he already has 8 here in the first period, and a chance to make it 9. His season high was 19. Makes them all. It's a 1-point game. 37 seconds left. Uniontown, a little pressure. AG has to get it across the timeline. Jawan Alston was wide open, but Donald couldn't see him, and that's going to be a double dribble. So Uniontown, if they want now, 28 seconds left, Jess, they could play for 1, maybe walk out of this period with a lead after trailing most of the quarter. And it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do, and AG is going to let them. 15 seconds left. We'll keep an eye on the clock for you. 10 seconds left. Humble should be making his move right about now with 7 seconds remaining. Here he goes. Swings it around, and now the entry pass is stolen. 2 seconds left. Got to fire one up. Howard lets it go at the buzzer. Off the stanchion, and that will do it for the first period. A good one. After 1 quarter, Albert Gallatin 16. Uniontown 15. Back with the second quarter after this on Herald Standard Television Sports.
Kopek Insurance would like to recognize the hard-working professionals at the Albert Gallatin Area School District. From the bus drivers who safely transport kids to school every morning, to the custodial staff who proudly clean the buildings at night, and everyone in between. Kopek Insurance would like to thank those who make us proud to support Albert Gallatin.
Welcome back, getting ready for the second quarter. Chuck Durso along with Jess Hudson. Albert Gallatin leading Uniontown 16-15 as you take a look at a little of the flavor of high school basketball on Martin Luther King Day. It's a girl-boy doubleheader here on HSTV. The Uniontown cheerleaders, Jess Hudson, getting their chant on.
They do a great job, Chuck, but there's so many I don't think I can count that high with my shoes on. Very sloppily played first quarter, Chuck. 8 turnovers for Uniontown, 7 for AG. So certainly I think both coaches will talk in their huddle in between quarters here. Let's take better care of the basketball, guys. Uniontown shooting 36% from the field, AG about 44 or 5.
Uniontown gets the first possession. 2 lead changes in that period, although Albert Gallatin led most of the way. Uniontown had 1 short-lived lead, but they're back on top to open up the quarter as Josh Thomas gets his first 2 of the night. AG looking to answer. Dribble drive, and contact is called as Howard will get a pair from the line. That's the first foul of the night on the Raiders. They did not commit a foul in the first period. Adam Franzak called for the infraction.
If I can make a constructive comment, Chuck, that's where Franzak, he had excellent position. He was squared up. All he had to do was hold his ground, but he turned sideways in an attempt to block the shot, and thus he pays the price for doing that.
Logan Howard, first-year starter, averaging 5 points per game for Albert Gallatin, and already above that as he makes both free throws, and he has 8 points, leading scorer right now for AG. Alston with 6. Jawan Alston with 6. Donald Alston has 4. They're the only 3 Colonials to score so far in this game. AG leads it by a point, and a steal. And Howard. Is he ahead of the field? And he is fouled. They're going to say that was on the floor before he went up for the shot.
Well, that was a very intelligent foul by Steve Kazmarski, and I'm really surprised that they wouldn't give him a little bit of continuation. And I thought he was really in the act anyway.
I did too.
And the other official was already set, lined up to give him 2 shots, but a heady play by Kazmarski, even if AG was given 2 shots.
First foul on Kazmarski, second team foul on the Raiders. 1 minute into this second quarter, AG up by 1 with the ball. Jawan Alston, quick baseline move, nice move. Didn't get the shot to go, but he'll shoot a pair. This foul going to be called on Thomas. That's his first, team third. Jawan Alston, 21 points and 9 blocks last year in the big game that we referred to in the first quarter, the season finale against Uniontown. He has 7 thus far tonight.
And I know you're doing that all from memory, not from prior cheat sheets.
And the 3 ball puts the Raiders back on top. Boy, if Kaczmarski can start hitting those, and he has 2 of them, that would be huge for the Raiders. Our thanks to Brian Mrazek and Arnie Amber, WMBS announcers, hooking us up with some stats before the game, and the short jumper missed by Jarosco, the short layup, I should say. We want to thank our buddies Brian and Arnie for hooking us up. Scramble on the floor, and AG comes away with it. Long pass by King to Jawan Alston. Fakes it, takes it, and he's fouled as Thomas comes over the top and commits his second foul.
Alston under control. Nice little dipsy-doodle turnaround pump fake. That's what he needs to do more of if he's to be an effective player at the next level.
Ricky Knox about to check back in for Albert Gallatin. Alston gets the roll. And also into the game, number 5, Jake McGurko, a 5'8" junior guard who averages 3 points per game off the bench. Durst checks back in for Uniontown along with number 14, Matt George, a 5'8" senior guard. Alston gets them both. Albert Gallatin back in the lead, our 6th lead change already tonight. Jawan has 9 points to lead the Colonials. Now Durst will let it fly. That's no good. Long rebound pulled down by McGurko. Boy, this brings back memories looking at Jake McGurko out there running the show. When I was a youth, I used to play basketball with his dad, Bruce, out on the sandlot.
Wow. His dad's 60?
Oh, that's not right.
Oh, I don't even know the gentleman, so no disrespect meant to him, Chuck. You got the message there, didn't you?
Yes, I did. And that looks like his dad, too, because he never met a shot he didn't like. Jake puts one up, and the offensive follow by Marshall. And one. Franzek called for the foul, his second. Albert Gallatin by 3. And now Marshall will try to see if he can convert a 3-point play. He does, his first 3 of the night. Uniontown now trails by 4 as they bring the ball back up court. AG in a zone. 1-3-1 look. With the big man, 6'8" Jawan Alston in the middle. 3 ball from the corner, no good by Kaczmarski, and Alston with the rebound. McGurko will wait up for his mates. Now Marshall is open. That 3 ball just caught the backboard. Good play, however, to keep it alive by Ricky Knox. Ball knocked out of bounds by the Raiders. 5:09 left in the first half. Knox in the corner. Gets it out to Howard. Dangerous pass. McGurko looking now to get it inside. Nice turnaround move by Alston. Can't get the shot to go, and then Jawan goes over the top of Matt George on the rebound attempt. Jawan's first foul of the evening. 7th team foul, however, on Albert Gallatin, so Uniontown will now shoot the 1-on-1. I think he went over George's back, but it may have been Tim Durst. Let's see who shoots the free throws now for the Raiders. It's going to be Durst. Oh, they're saying
it's going to be
Kaczmarski.
It's going to be who maybe they think is their best free throw shooter.
I'm almost positive it wasn't Kaczmarski that they went over the back of.
Well, Chuck, stranger things have happened.
Don't show that replay in case I was wrong.
Chuck, you've never been wrong. Only once in your life have you been wrong.
I give myself once a year, actually, and I don't want to use it up this early. Kaczmarski makes them both. It's a 2-point game. Justin King back in for the Colonials. He and McGurko both in there now, along with Knox, Marshall, and Juwan Alston, the 5 on the floor for the Colonials. And Durst is going to be called for a backcourt foul. His first. The team foul situation starting to even up now as Uniontown has now committed 6, all here in the second quarter. Kaczmarski, Farrell, George, Durst, Umble, the 5 out there for the Raiders, and Justin King has some room. Are they going to travel? I'm not sure about that. He made the little pump fake. I don't think he took the second step after the last dribble, though.
And he may have gotten nicked as he cupped the ball as well.
Raiders down by 2. They can take the lead with a 3. We've had 6 lead changes in this one. Nice step in by Juwan Alston. Now he needs to slow it down, which he does. 4:22 left here in quarter number 2. Juwan kicks it back for King. The 3 no good. Nice rebound. Back up and in. Nicely done by Ricky Knox, his first 2 of the night. Colonials lead by 4. Midway through the second period. AG packed in that zone, and with Uniontown struggles outside shooting, probably a wise choice. Now, that's not a walk? I got news for you. That definitely was a walk, but it wasn't called. Now McGurko. Long pass, and Juwan Alston says, I'm coming up. So you better get this party started with the throwdown. Kaczmarski from the land of free, and we're heating it up now. Juwan Alston, oh! Surprised he didn't slam that. It might have been wise to do so. We don't always recommend slam dunks at the high school level, but a little more aggressively there might have benefited him. Talk about the outside shooting, Jess Hudson. Kaczmarski with 3 3-pointers. Uniontown has hit 4 from beyond the arc. That foul was called on Farrell. Juwan now 4 of 5 from the line. HSTV proud to present quality children's programming with the HSTV Kids Hour. The HSTV Kids Hour has back-to-back episodes of Gina D's Kids Club at 9 a.m. and the busy town of Richard Scarry at 9:30. Do your little one a favor and check out the HSTV Kids Hour Monday through Saturday here on Channel 19. A 30-second timeout called by the Albert Gallatin Colonials as they lead by 4.
And Steve Kaczmarski stops the momentum of AG. AG comes down, has the big dunk. Chuck, you're a little younger than I've got to admit that finally after all these years. But when I grew up, there was a commercial, Up and Away with TWA. Well, that's what that was with Juwan Alston. Got the AG fans all up on their feet into the game. Kaczmarski comes right back and buries the 3 and negates all of that. So 3s are the big equalizer in basketball, and certainly there's a place for the standstill shooter in this game.
And how about the perfect lob pass from McGurko to set up Alston? Again, back in the day, Jess, we used to call that the alley-oop, right? Now they just call it the lob. Alston makes them both as he makes the back end of the 2-shot situation, and now a steal. Justin King. Marshall on the drive. The hoop and the harm. Marshall with a chance for another 3-point opportunity. Sanders called for his first foul.
Uniontown, 13 turnovers already. And turnovers, typically, there's good and bad, as I've talked before. The bad are when it leads to uneven numbers at the other end.
Marshall gets the drop. He has 6 points, a pair of 3-point plays the old-fashioned way. Now Sanders is called for the travel. Raider Nation on the road not liking that call. They thought there was a foul, but instead the travel is called as Tim Durst checks back in. Humble, Durst, Kesmarski, Farrell, and Thomas, the 5 out there for the Raiders. McGurko, King, Marshall, and both Alstons on the floor for the Colonials. 2:47 left, first half. Suddenly AG has opened up an 8-point lead. And now King, and a foul will be called. Coach Kesmarski wants to travel. Instead, the 9th team foul called on the Raiders. I think Humble is going to be called for that one, and that's his first. 9th team foul, so this will be a 1-and-1 for King, his first free throws, or first free throw, I should say. Not guaranteed to get the second one, but he will. AG has shot very well from the line, particularly while all their free throws have been here in the second quarter. 11 of 12, 12 of 13 as a team. Impressive with a 10-point lead. There's where the lead is. Uniontown is 5 of 8, by the way, from the line. 2.5 minutes remaining. Raiders down by 10. Durst, short on the 3. Was it touched? No, it was not touched. Durst is saying it was tipped. He's pleading his case, and now, good work by the officials, as the official up top says it was deflected. I thought perhaps it was. And Uniontown will inbounds now under their own hoop.
Those officials, they're great guys, aren't they, Chuck?
Love them. Doing a great job keeping things under control. We always support the men in stripes. I saw one yesterday doing an outstanding job at the middle school level.
Who was that? Elliot Adamovich. My
partner. Thank you. Read my mind. No, it was Jess Hudson, of course. Foul is called on Justin King, and that's his second. Coach Andrea wants to get him out of there now for the final 2:15 so he doesn't pick up a third foul. This is a 1-and-1 situation, however, though, and Josh Thomas missed the free throw. So now Justin King has to be careful on the drive that he doesn't pick up a third foul. Pass was a little low for Juwan Alston, kicks it back out. Nice look inside, Marshall over Thomas. Pretty. Colonials by a dozen. They've opened this up all of a sudden, and Thomas will be fouled by Donald Alston. And that's his first. Team 9th, but it's a shooting foul. Thomas will shoot a pair. He's 0 for 4 from the line so far. Now that can't be right. He's had 5 free throws. Yeah, he was 1 of 5 and now 2 of 6. I believe. We'll get it straightened up. Makes them both here. Ten-point game. Pull up, put up. Can't get the shot to go by Juwan. McGurko tries to steal it. Now Humble kicks it over to Kesmarski. And Uniontown will set it up now. 1.5 minutes remaining, second period. A little shake and bake from Humble. Now Durst with the lane. Over Alston, but the shot doesn't go. Scramble for the loose ball. Will we get a jump ball? No, we're going to get a foul, and then a little extracurricular. Get away from each other, gentlemen. No need for that. Mark Marshall just needs to settle down. Now the officials talking things over. What are we going to have out of all that?
Well, we have a personal foul on Uniontown, and then we'll see if we have a technical foul also on Uniontown.
Coming up to the scoring table, we do have a technical foul. And that's going to be called on Josh Thomas.
So AG will probably come the other way and shoot 4 fouls. Then they'll get the ball at half court. So a potential 6-7 point play coming up here.
You know, and again, people watching at home, and I don't know if you're going to show a replay on that, and it could prove me wrong, but seeing it live just one time, Jess Hudson, I'm thinking you call T both ways, because it looked to me like both players threw a little something there.
Well, but we don't know. Maybe something was said as well,
true,
which we would not know.
Now Marshall, he was fouled, so he's shooting the double bonus, because we are in the double bonus now on those fouls. That's his first miss. And gets the drop on the second. Now Jake McGurka will come in, and here's the technicals. By the way, if I'm not mistaken, that makes 4 fouls on Josh Thomas, because he had 2. He gets the personal. A technical counts as a personal, so he suddenly has 4 fouls just like that, as McGurko hits them both.
If the technical was called on him, which we believe it was.
The technical was called. I could read the official's lips, and he said technical on number 3.
That's a very good point, Chuck. Technicals do count as personals. AG just lighting it up from the foul on this quarter. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Over half their points this quarter from the free throw line.
And they lead by a baker's dozen right now at 40-27, and with the ball. Wide open is Marshall. Short jumper doesn't go. Humble with the rebound. Final minute of the second period. Humble tries to drive through Albert Gallatin and sent him to the line. Foul called on Marshall, and that's his 3rd foul. So he'll have to sit down now as back into the game comes Robbie Jarosco. How about Josh Thomas? You leave him out there hoping he doesn't pick up a 3rd foul before the half, and because of the technical, he gets his 4th. We may not see him again to the 4th quarter. Humble converts the 3-point play. And that was big. Uniontown needed it to get back to within 10. Kicked out of bounds by Farrell. 52 seconds remaining here in the half. Close first quarter, back and forth we went. There have been 6 lead changes here in the half, but AG's led most of the way, and certainly most of this second period. And they've led big for the last several minutes. Kicks it inside, Alston. Something there, it's a travel or a jump ball. Coach Andrea says it should be a foul.
Well, it looked like the ball did come out of his hand, so it mean he would get another dribble. But what do we know, Chuck? Don't answer that.
Very little. Oh, you said don't answer that. I'm sorry. 30 seconds remaining. Does Uniontown want to hold for 1? Apparently not. Farrell inside. Surprisingly, Jawan Alston did not go up to try to block that. First 2 of the night off the bench for John Farrell. It's a 8-point game, and timeout is called. 30-second timeout, so we can take a real quick break as well. Back with the final 15 seconds of the half after this on Herald Standard Television Sports.
Everyone has a cell phone. Do you? Stay in touch with your teenager with a Cricket cellular phone from PT&E Wireless. PT&E Wireless is your local authorized Cricket dealer located on Route 51 in the Uniontown Giant Eagle Plaza. Cricket plans start at just $35 a month with unlimited minutes, unlimited text messaging, and unlimited long distance. And best of all, there's no contract and no credit check. Finally, a cellular plan designed for a teenager. Stop in and let one of our knowledgeable staff help you pick the right plan.
Albert Gallatin led by 1 after 1 period, but the second quarter has really been a colonial quarter, although Uniontown trying to make a late run.
Uniontown 6 more turnovers in this quarter and has given AG some easier opportunities. They get numbers, and of course Alston has come alive with 2, 4, 5, 7 big points in this quarter. Jawan Alston, that is.
Surprised that Uniontown doesn't put a little pressure on here. They put pressure on a moment ago, forced AG to call that timeout. Now AG will try to play for 1. 10 seconds remaining. Jake McGurko dishes it off. Donald Alston can't get the flush. Jawan puts it back up. Nothing called, and then at the buzzer, Jawan puts it in. A fitting end to an Albert Gallatin first half. At the half, the score, the Albert Gallatin Colonials 42. The Uniontown Red Raiders 32. Back with the second half after this on Herald Standard Television Sports.
Rediscover all the wonderful things you remember as a child. There were the great historians that shaped our country, the interesting lands and cultures around the globe, the fascinating world of science, or the exciting adventures of Treasure Island and Oliver Twist. Recapture the memories when you help your child read and study at home. After all, who knows? You may learn something too.
Well, the Gallatin Colonial basketball team has had a rough season this year. They've lost 5 of 7 games by an average of 3 points or less. But hopes are still high. The section schedule is about halfway through, and the players are still looking for a playoff berth.
Well, right now we've it's kind of been a losing record, but I think it's just chemistry, getting our chemistry together. And right now I think we've got it, and now it's just time for us to get over that hump.
Justin and company are not far off. They've held their opponents to just over 50 points a game, which is pretty good for a high school squad.
Every team we play, even good or bad, doesn't matter if they score in the 70s, 80s, we hold them under 60, and we take that as a pride for us, and our defense is top-notch.
As far as Justin goes, he was a star at Connellsville last year and now roams the court for the Colonials. Believe it or not, he says his first love wasn't even hoops.
Really, my first love was baseball. I really liked baseball. My dad was more focused on me in baseball, but I found out about my dad and how good he was, and so I figured it must have been my bloodline, so I started dedicating myself to basketball.
The Colonials are not out of the playoff race yet. They have 10 games remaining, and Justin says that's just enough time for a postseason push.
We're going to make some noise, man. People better, we're really better watch out for real, because all it is pretty much our offense. Our offense is coming, so, the defense is there. All we just got to do is score the points now.
When it comes to chiropractic wellness, look no further than the office of Dr. Gary B. Sutton, located on George's Fairchance Road in Smithfield. For over 33 years, Dr. Gary B. Sutton has specialized in pain and injuries of the spine due to home, auto, and work-related accidents. Contact Dr. Sutton to schedule regular chiropractic checkups just for the health of it.
Welcome back, getting ready for the second half. The Albert Gallatin Colonials with the 10-point lead at the half, 42-32, and so far Uniontown no answer for Juwan Alston inside.
Alston 15 big points. Good job defensively. Field goal shooting almost even, 42 and 43%, but AG 14 of 16 for the line in that second quarter, and that's made the difference. And Uniontown 14 turnovers.
Yeah, Uniontown did not commit a foul in that whole first quarter, but boy, they sure made a lot of them in the second quarter. And you mentioned Albert Gallatin, of course, lighting it up from the line. Meanwhile, Uniontown being led by Mark Umble with 12 points, Steve Kazmarski with 11. Uniontown looking for backcourt production this year. They're getting that at least in the first half.
Good job with the point production. They've got to do a better job of taking care of the basketball.
The inside game of AG against the outside game of Uniontown, and Juwan Alston, smooth jumper from 14 to open things up. 17 points for Juwan. AG's biggest lead of that half was 13, and there you go, you mentioned it, Jess, a quick turnover by the Raiders.
Well, there are a lot of things that drive coaches crazy. Having been there, I can tell you 2 of them are turnovers and giving up offensive rebounds.
There's a turnover by Albert Gallatin in the backcourt.
Well, that's now their 10th. Poor shot selection would also be something that drives coaches crazy, but I don't know that we've had a lot of that tonight.
Umble drives through, can't get the shot to go. Durst keeps it alive. And nice runner by Tim Durst. Second field goal of the evening. Colonials lose the ball as Alston can't handle it. You mentioned offensive rebounds. That has been a Colonial strength in recent years with Nate Turner and Juwan Alston. It has not been a big factor tonight. They haven't done a whole lot on the offensive glass.
7 offensive rebounds for AG, only 3 for Uniontown.
Kazmarski comes around the screen but puts up an air ball, and Juwan Alston is there to get the ball, and Justin King now set it up for AG, leading by 10. Alston flashes open inside, can't get the jumper to go, and Franzek pulls down the board. Now Durst getting his 3 on. Second tray of the night. 5 in a row for the Raiders, and it's a 7-point game. Double team of Alston now. Logan Howard, pull up, put up, no good. Nicely kept alive by Knox, but now Umble with Kesmarski. Can't get the shot to go. Donald Alston with the rebound. Now the Colonials looking to push. Knox, boy, he got it to Jawan Alston, who was all alone for the slam, but there was a foul called first. And Franzek will be called for his third. Coach Kesmarski will have to decide whether to leave him out on the floor. And well, you almost have to. You need him inside. That's why right there. I don't think they can afford to take Franzek out right now. I think they have to roll the dice, let him play with three. Turnaround by Umble functions as a pass. Franzek's first two of the night. Uniontown putting on some full court pressure. King breaks that. Donald Alston to his brother Jawan. No foul call. Well, I thought I could hear contact all the way up here in the balcony on that one.
I would say Dan Andrews having a few choice words for the lead official in that case.
A couple of questionable calls tonight. Crossover dribble by Umble. Franzek open from the baseline, can't get the shot to go. And I think Donald Alston will be called. And a little shove afterwards, and Coach Kesmarski is just going livid. He's apoplectic. He holds up. Josh Thomas is sitting on the bench. He held up Thomas's hand. He said, "You called a technical on my guy in the first half for that." He may have a point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kesmarski's foot on the line, so that's for two. Short, Donald Alston with the rebound. AG by 7, 5:19 left. Third quarter, Justin King gets the shot to drop. King's first field goal of the night. He has 4 points, AG by 9. John Farrell will check in for the Raiders on the next dead ball. Boy, we got a good one coming up for you, our next broadcast here on HSTV. Durst gets the flush. How about a little Uniontown LH action? Our next broadcast on Herald Standard Television. Nice pump fake by Alston on the drive and send into the line. Oh my goodness, that was pretty. Sanders called for the foul. Uniontown LH, non-section, but what a great rivalry, the Battle of Uniontown. And we'll have that game for you Wednesday evening. It's going to be played tomorrow night. We'll air it for you on Wednesday from the Mustang Corral. Uniontown won the opener this year between these two as Alston completes the three-point play. A lot of people think LH may be primed to end that long losing streak. I believe they've lost 10 in a row now in that rivalry over the last few years. Alston alters that shot. Now King in some traffic. Gets it to Knox for the drive. Coach Kesmarski might want to use up a timeout. 4:21 left. Lead back up to 12 for AG after Uniontown had got it down to 7. Of course, Laurel Highlands undefeated in Section 3 AAA, the first place team. And they look strong this year. Out of bounds, AG basketball. And LH looks strong because of that inside presence, and that's what Albert Gallatin's doing tonight.
LH has 3 bruisers down low, and they take all 15 fouls too.
Sophomore Caleb Ramsey, of course, one of the big guns. Jawan Alston was looking to do something pretty there. He's fouled on his way up. Are they going to call it a shooting foul or not? Well, foul is called on Farrell, and they will give him 2 shots. By the way, each Sunday at 3 and 8 p.m., tune into HSTV Channel 19 as we dust off great movies and TV shows of yesteryear with stars such as Gregory Peck, William Holden, and Cary Grant. Join host Marty Schiff as he presents HSTV Sunday Classics each and every Sunday only on HSTV Channel 19. This week's movie, Indiana, Pennsylvania native son Jimmy Stewart in Pot of Gold. Josh Thomas checks back in for the Raiders as Alston misses the first free throw. He's 6 for 8 tonight from the stripe. 6 of 9. He misses both there, but only missed 1 in the first half. 3:50 on a turning clock. Raiders down by a dozen. Humble behind the back. Look at the pass to Thomas for the score. The execution of the distribution by Mark Umble. That was nice. Donald Alston, dipsy-doo 2. 6 points for Donald. And a steal. Nice step in by King. And a foul will be called on Durst. That is the second foul tonight on Durst, team fourth. AG has committed 1.
Uniontown's entered the danger zone right now, Chuck. They're down 12, could be 13, is 13, could be 14, and 14 can balloon to 19 or 20 real quick. So I think Uniontown, even though they're down so much, they need to come down and show a little patience, make 3, 4, 5 passes, and ensure that they get a good shot.
King has made all 4 of his free throws. He has 6 points tonight. And Albert Gallatin now has their biggest lead of the night at 14. Umball, this is for 2. Another air ball. King with the rebound, and Durst knocks it out of bounds. 3:01 left here in the third quarter. And into the game once again is Matt George for the Raiders. And he'll be joined by number 20, Ryan Turner, who's in for the first time tonight.
Is that a Mountain Boy?
That is one of my ex-students. Up there at A.J. McMullen, absolutely.
Mentored by Coach Bell.
Absolutely. And a good outside shooter, and he's in there to see if he can light something up from outside. Much like Rodney Turner, his brother, last year in the role he played with the Raiders. Going to get a foul on the rebound here. And I believe this one's against Albert Gallatin. It is. Donald Alston will be called. That is his second foul. Second team foul on the Colonials. Uniontown looking to cut into that 14-point deficit. 2.5 minutes left, third quarter. Josh Thomas. They've missed his presence inside. He had to sit on the bench for quite some time because of foul trouble. He has 4 points here in the third quarter. And now Alston on the drive. Couldn't get the shot to go. Donald's follow no good. Now Jawan again. And he scores. And there you see the offensive rebounding. 22 points for Jawan. Farrell. Oh my goodness. Jawan Alston getting up in his grill for real on that one. Sanders tried to save it, and now Jawan can't get the shot to go. Rebound by Sanders. Now 2-on-1 for the Raiders. Thomas, and a foul will be called on Knox. That's his third. Ricky picked up 2 very early in the game, none since then until this one, and now Thomas will shoot a pair from the line with 1:42 remaining here in the third period. Don't forget you can develop your culinary skills every week with Joe Carey on the Cooking Coach with Chef Joe. Whether you're a beginning chef or know a recipe or two, improve your game each Saturday and Monday morning at 10 a.m. The Cooking Coach with Chef Joe right here on HSTV, channel 19.
We got coaches all over the place. I thought we were a select few. Joe's a great guy, does a lot for our community, a lot of charitable events, and excellent food there, Chuck. Have you ever been? I'll take you.
That sounds like a plan. If you're paying, I'm eating. Thomas makes 1 of 2. Jake McGurko back in the game for the Colonials. And a foul called on Sanders. And that's the 15th foul on the Raiders. Talking to Jake McGurko's dad, Bruce, at the half. I mentioned in the first half, of course, an old friend of mine. He said Jake's got a little bit of an ankle that he suffered against Penn Trafford earlier.
And his dad also said he could still take you to the hoop, Chuck. I want you to know, after he talked to you, he came to me and said, I'd take Durso to the rack.
I was going to say, he didn't say it to me, but I know he believes it. There is Jake McGurko now, a little bit of space, and he'll just dribble down the lane, but couldn't get the shot to go. I think he was a little worried about Josh Thomas flying at him at the last second. altered the shot a little bit. Minute 15 left. Raiders down by 13. They need a bucket. Thomas now trapped inside, gets it to Sanders off the deflection. And a turnover, and Uniontown just really has been unable to get into any semblance of offensive rhythm here tonight. The Colonials, on the other hand. And a foul will be called on Sanders once again. That's 4 fouls now on Kevin Sanders. 6th team foul. Coach Kesmarski going to leave him out there with 4 fouls. Exactly 1 minute left, third period. Colonials by 13. You can get it in. And they do. Now King, trapped on the sideline, dribbles out. Nice pass to Marshall. Good look by Justin King. With Jared Link graduating last year, AG was concerned about that point guard position, who was going to step in, and Justin King coming over from Connellsville, fortuitous to solve that problem. Batted out of bounds, and now mass substitutions for the Raiders with 39 seconds remaining here in the third period. Kesmarski back in, Umble, Durst, Franzek, Thomas. There are your 5. Here's Durst. Kicks it for Umble, might have gotten away with steps. Kesmarski, Franzek baseline, can't get the shot to go. Thomas with the offensive putback, nice play by Josh Thomas, and the Raiders needed that. 7 points here in the third quarter for Josh. It's a 13-point game. And they're going to call carrying now on Justin King with 20 seconds remaining. Albert Gallatin turns it over. McGurko, King, Jarosco, Marshall, Howard. 5 on the floor. And as the Alstons both getting a blow here at the end of the quarter, and Uniontown is going to play for 1. 10 seconds. And now 8 seconds, time to make the move. Wide open is Umble. He'll lob it in for Thomas, who's fouled by Marshall. And that's his 4th. Very quickly, Coach Andrea goes to the bench. Aaron Cromwell, a 6-foot sophomore, number 45, in for the first time tonight with 4.5 seconds remaining. That was the 4th team foul on AG, so Uniontown inbounds. Durst open. Oh, they let him go. Defensive mistake there. And that will end the third quarter. That's a big 3. Let's see if that changes things a little bit. It was a 10-point game at the half. It's still a 10-point game. AG 61, Uniontown 51. 4th and final quarter action up next on Herald Standard Television Sports.
Everyone has a cell phone. Do you? Stay in touch with your teenager with a Cricket cellular phone from PT&E Wireless. PT&E Wireless is your local authorized Cricket dealer located on Route 51 in the Uniontown Giant Eagle Plaza. Cricket plans start at just $35 a month with unlimited minutes, unlimited text messaging, and unlimited long distance. And best of all, there's no contract and no credit check. Finally, a cellular plan designed for a teenager. Stop in and let one of our knowledgeable staff help you pick the right plan.
Young ladies getting their cheer on as we're ready for the fourth quarter. I'm Chuck Durso. Jess Hudson, the other voice you hear, and it's 61-51. Albert Gallatin by 10 with 8 minutes to go. And on one hand, it's looked good for AG tonight, Jess. On the other hand, if you're Uniontown, I don't know, maybe they can say, listen, we're only down 10 in spite of everything.
Thank goodness for Tim Durst that quarter, Chuck. He had 10 points by himself, got himself into double figures. So an even third quarter, 19-19. I still think Uniontown needs to make an extra pass or two, be a little more patient, even though they may be down 10 points here entering quarter number 4.
AG is led by as much as 15. Uniontown got as close as 7 in that third quarter. It was 10 at the half. It's still 10. And now a foul on the floor going to be called, I believe, on Ricky Knox. And that's his 4th foul. Knox, Marshall, each with 4 for the Colonials. Thomas, Sanders, 4 apiece for the Raiders. Coach Kesmarski with some words for the officials, not sure what that was about. Now Thomas kicks it back for Franzek from 15. If he can make that shot, maybe draw Alston out a little bit, it might open some space in the middle. It's an 8-point game. Suddenly, things interesting. Backdoor cut. Who touched it last? I think it was Howard. Double tip, yes. Uniontown can get to within 6, and Coach Andrea wants a timeout.
Well, it was just 3 minutes ago, Chuck, where Uniontown was down 13 or 14, and I said it could quickly balloon to 19 or 20. Give credit to Uniontown. They've cut it to 8 with the entire fourth quarter to go here, 7.5 minutes. So Uniontown, again, very much in this game. 18 turnovers to this point. They need to take care of the basketball.
Hey, Jess, you can log on to heraldstandard.com and check out our catalog of photos for sale of local events, such as high school basketball games. I know you like to surf the net. Professionally produced photographs are available in the photos section of the Herald Standard website. A click of your mouse is all it takes to own gorgeous high-resolution photos taken by the talented staff of the Herald Standard Photography Department. Log on to heraldstandard.com for details. When you surf the net, do you use a boogie board or a long board?
What?
8-point game, and another turn. No. Last touch by the Colonials. The way Uniontown went after the ball in the corner, I thought maybe they thought, too, it was off of them. Thomas flashes open, baseline jumper. Oh, that would have made it a 6-point game. That was a biggie. 1 minute gone here in the fourth period. AG by 8. King trying to get a little too fancy out there, but is able to get it to Juwan Alston. That shot no good, kind of forced it. And the rebound by Kesmarski. They'll call a jump ball. And AG has the possession arrow. We're behind the scoreboard, so we can't see the possession arrow, and the scoreboard on the wall doesn't have the possession arrow lit. So we couldn't tell. Juwan Alston, that was a 3. I don't know that Coach Andrea wants him shooting those. And now Thomas and Juwan Alston with the devastation of the elevation. Just swatted away. That got the Colonial crazies off their feet on the far side. Getting their AG chant on as Durst misses the jumper. King, outlet pass to Juwan. Knocks baseline, and a foul is called on the floor. Coach Kesmarski wants the traveling called. Foul will be called on Tim Durst, his third, 7th team foul. So a 1-on-1 opportunity now for Ricky Knox. Jake McGurko checks back in, as coming up a little lame there. Justin King is hobbling off the floor. We'll keep an eye on that. Ricky Knox, the first-year starter for the Colonials, who's averaged 4 points a game, gets that free throw to drop. And can't get that one. He now has 4 points. He's right on his average. Humble, nice drive. Can't get the shot to go, but Thomas, oh, the follow didn't go either. Third try, that didn't go. Now Durst, and a foul will be called on Logan Howard. Tough luck for Uniontown, but they will get a couple of free throws out of this. Howard's first foul of the evening, 6th team foul on the Raiders. Doubleheader action here on Martin Luther King Day. We have the girls game for you from Saturday before this one. This game, of course, played on Friday the 13th. Our next action Wednesday night is Uniontown takes on Laurel Highlands. This is a big rivalry against AG, but that one's even bigger when they take on the Mustangs. The game played tomorrow night. We'll have the action for you Wednesday here on Herald Standard Television. 2 big free throws by Durst. And it's a 7-point game. I'm telling you, there's a long way to go at a near steal. Now Alston up high, his first field goal of the period. Uniontown down by 9 and a steal. We still got to scramble. And McGurko gets the timeout. Coach Kesmarski not happy. Assistant coach Ware Gladman going after the official there. And I know what they're saying, Jess. They're saying Jake McGurko didn't have possession of the basketball to call timeout. And personally, I agree with them.
Okay. but it's great. What we saw, Chuck, was great effort by both teams.
Yes.
Everybody down on that floor after the ball. It's a matter of life and death. And we see them and we call them as we see them. Sometimes we see them on the upside, sometimes we don't. But
I have AG, by the way, and this is unofficial, of course, because we're way up here in the balcony, not next to the scorebook. I have him with just one timeout left. And I understand McGurko heads up play there to call that timeout, but at the same time, now you're just left with one with a 9-point lead. I don't know. Maybe better off getting the jump ball. You say no. Use that timeout.
I say use it.
Yeah.
I say use it.
Coach Kesmarski still barking at the officials, saying that should have been a jump ball. 5:50 remaining. Boy, Raider Nation still yelling at the Zebras. Nice play by Steele. I was about to say maybe he should have waited for his teammates, but the shot went in. And now a foul called on Knox. Away from the ball. What happened there, Jess? That's the 5th foul.
There was little activity on the last play. And sometimes, you know, you don't see what happens prior to, and AG got caught on this play. I'm not sure this is supposed to be a 1-and-1, Chuck. There's a new rule this year that a foul off the ball on the offensive team is not a shooting foul, but they are giving Uniontown a 1-and-1 in this situation. I do not think that is a correct thing with the new rule this year.
Interesting, because Marski makes the first one. I misspoke, by the way. I had Knox with 4 fouls, but apparently he only had 3. That's his 4th. Justin King apparently okay. He's going to check back in. Uniontown shooting very well from the line here in the second half. And suddenly, looky, Jess Hudson, it's a 5-point game with 5:44 left.
Well, that's what we want. We want to go to the final possession. May the best team win tonight.
This was looking blowout city in the 3rd quarter. Right now, not to be. Jake McGurko wide open. Can't get the 3 to go. Umble, quick outlet pass to Kesmarski. King goes back, can't stop him. Raider Nation on their feet. It's a 3-point game. A Raider run at York run. Nice play. Beautiful pick and roll. I'll tell you what, John Stockton and Carl Malone couldn't have run it much better than Justin King and Juwan Alston did right there.
And the pick and roll, Chuck, died about 20 years ago. We don't see it. How many times do we see it during the course of an entire season? Run to perfection right there, and Juwan Alston is headed towards the 30-point mark. He may have close to that now with about 28.
You know, and I mentioned 2 names who they're going to be in the Hall of Fame someday, the Basketball Hall of Fame, just because of that play. Stockton and Malone all those years in Utah. AG needed those 2 free throws badly. Back up to a 5-point lead. This is fun. Now, oh, nice screen by Thomas with authority. They tried a little pick and roll themselves. And Thomas is fouled. Non-shooting foul. He'll go to the line for the 1-and-1, and he has struggled from the line tonight. This time, it's 5 fouls on Ricky Knox. And Raider Nation is going to wave bye-bye to Ricky as Logan Howard will check back in. And the Colonial Crazies over on the other side are chanting scoreboard, which right now shows Albert Gallatin up by 5, but with plenty of time left. That was 8th team foul, by the way, on Albert Gallatin. Both teams have committed 8. Rims that one out. Alston with the rebound. It's a 4-point AG lead. Under 5 minutes left. McGurko wide open, what a look. The execution of the distribution from the junior backup point guard. And now a foul will be called on Howard. Marshall, by the way, in double figures after that bucket. As he now has 10. Howard's 2nd foul to send Mark Umble to the line. where he is 4 of 4. $15 points tonight for Mark Umble. This to make it a 4-point game once again. Strong off the back rim. Rebound by Marshall. Uniontown's missed a couple of free throws here last 2 trips down. Those hurt you at this point. McGurko flashing through. Alston doesn't give it to him. And a near steal. Good hustle by Kesmarski. McGurko in the corner thought about it. King tries to force a pass into Alston. Now Kesmarski doesn't have numbers. Durst thinks he has a lane. Nice dish to Thomas. Dropping the dime. Tim Durst. Halfway through the 4th quarter, back to a 3-point AG lead. Justin King dribble drive, doesn't go, but the deflection right to Jawan Alston. Lead back to 5. Jawan Alston with 28 points. And Jawan with the swat, but Logan Howard will be called with the foul down below. His 3rd. That'll be a shooting foul. Umble will shoot a pair. 3:27 remaining. Durst, Umble, Kesmarski, Thomas, Franzek, the 5 out there for the Red Raiders. Umble misses the first one, another big miss from the stripe. Jawan Alston, Marshall, King, Howard, McGurko. AG with 3 guards right now in the lineup. Umble missed them both, but gets the rebound. Durst 3 is short. Boy, that could have been a huge sequence for the Raiders. Well, it still was a huge sequence. Just negatively by missing both free throws. AG up by 5 now. King, Umble checking him, but will be called for the foul. That's his 3rd, and it's the 9th team foul on the Raiders. So this will be the final 1-and-1 now for Albert Gallatin, a big free throw for Justin King. King averaging 13 points per game. That gives him 7 tonight. He has made all 5 of his free throws. Missed that one. Scramble. Uniontown has the possession arrow. And they'll get it. By the way, shout out. Here filming as he always does for the Uniontown Red Raiders. Fred Sickles in the house. I got to give Fred a shout out because, you know, big announcement here, Jess Hudson. Big Church League softball news. Our newest signing for my Church League team, Fred Sickles, handling the hot corner for me this year. Oh, we're excited about that. Jawan Alston says, I don't think so, but a travel call on McGurko. .251 left. Raiders down by 6. What do we got? We got a travel. Raiders don't like that call. I thought he shuffled the feet a little bit before he started dribbling. I think is when they caught it, or when they called it, when he caught the pass. Uniontown needs a stop. King kicks it back to Marshall. Alston now. Oh, nice spin move. And send him to the line. That is a big sequence.
Unofficially, I have Jawan for 33 points, Chuck. That's unofficial, of course.
I can't keep up. He's definitely got 30 at least. Missed that one. 7-point game. Raiders need a bucket. hoping for a good one. It has been. Franzek from just inside the arc. 6 points for Adam. They needed that bucket. I said it was a 7-point game. It was, of course, an 8-point game, and now AG leads by 6. Durst hounding King. Baseline jumper. Only the second field goal of the night for Justin King, but it's a big one. Under 2 minutes, Uniontown. Got to get a little giddy up right now in the offense as time's running out, down 8. Nice crossover by Umball. That was a pretty move. Albert Gallatin, they usually have to play 3 games to score 75 points. Had a lot more offense than expected in this one, and now a foul call on Uniontown on the floor, but it's a double bonus situation. Foul is called on Tim Durst. That's his 4th. 2 free throws now for Justin King. We welcome you to join us as King misses the first Wednesday night for Uniontown and Laurel Highlands. John Farrell checks in for Uniontown, and Donald Alston for the Colonials. Game time 7:30 Wednesday night from the Mustang Corral. Uniontown, Laurel Highlands, the Crosstown Classic, right here on HSTV. Missed them both. Big opportunity for Uniontown, and now a foul call. Not a good sequence if you're Justin King. Missing 2 free throws and then committing a foul. And after making his first 5 from the stripe, he's now missed 3 in a row. Durst will shoot a pair. Both teams in the double bonus. Possession arrow in Albert Gallatin's favor. Up and in. Matt George in for Kesmarski. As Coach Kesmarski maybe going to do a little offensive-defensive substituting here now. Still a game. This would make it a 4-point game. Can't get the shot to go. Thomas tried to keep it alive, but Donald Alston ran it down. And a foul call. And that's Durst, and that'll be his 5th. First Raider to foul out. Now the Colonial Crazies will be able to say bye-bye to somebody. Nate Turner stands up behind the Albert Gallatin bench. You can't help but wonder, and it's probably futile to waste time, but if you're Albert Gallatin, you can't help but wonder what might have been this year if Nate Turner had been able to play.
Well, good point, Chuck, but we can't woulda, coulda, shoulda, and no one feels worse about it than Nate Turner. So we'll wish him well. Hope he has a very speedy recovery and successful recovery and is ready to go next fall for football and hopefully in the winter for hoops.
With Alston and Turner inside, most people thought Albert Gallatin was the favorites in this section, and they probably would have been. King makes them both. Timeout on the floor, minute 22 remaining, 77-70. AG leads, and we'll be back with more after this on Herald Standard Television Sports.
Kopek Insurance would like to recognize the hardworking professionals in the Albert Gallatin Area School District. From the bus drivers who safely transport kids to school every morning, to the custodial staff who proudly clean the buildings at night, and everyone in between. Kopek Insurance would like to thank those who make us proud to support Albert Gallatin.
You can't miss those psychedelic t-shirts of the Colonial Crazies, Jess Hudson. Got to put your shades on.
I'd like to have one of those.
I'm surprised they didn't hook you up. If you'd have asked, they'd have given you one, I'm sure.
If they were only giving one, Chuck, I know that would have gone to you because you're the man, and I do respect that.
77-70. Albert Gallatin with the lead, a minute 22 remaining. I have Uniontown with 3 timeouts left and AG with 1, but that's unofficial. Both teams in the double bonus, possession arrow in Albert Gallatin's favor. Uniontown needs to score early and often. Kesmarski will let it fly. Didn't quite have the feet set though. And a quick foul. Thomas or Sanders? Sanders. And that's his fifth. So Coach Kesmarski will use as much time as possible before he sends Matt George out there. George, Umble, Kesmarski, Thomas, and Turner. The five out there right now for the Raiders. King, McGurko, both Alstons, and Marshall for Albert Gallatin, and this is Marshall who will shoot from the line. Boy, it makes a difference when you're shooting two as opposed to one-to-one, doesn't it? You can just see the way he shot that. It takes a lot of the pressure off. A very confident stroke. Makes them both. He's 5 of 6 from the line tonight. It's a 9-point game. Humble, they need this three. Didn't go. Thomas tries to keep it alive, and we'll get a jump ball out of that. Albert Gallatin possession. And right now, it looks like things are going to go AG's way here tonight. Coach Andrea wants a timeout. We need to take one more break. Let's take it right now. Minute 3 left. 79-70. Albert Gallatin back for the final minute. After this on Herald Standard Television Sports.
Gerke's Exxon service, located on 131 East Fayette Street, has been in business for 57 years. With the lowest new tire prices in town and their quick in-and-out service, they are hard to beat. Across from Uniontown High School, new, used, and retread tires available. Go Red Raiders.
Welcome back. I'm Chuck. He's Jess. It was a minute 3 left. It's 79-70. And Uniontown pretty much just has to start fouling and hoping they miss some free throws, huh?
AG shot pretty well tonight from the free throw line. Uniontown has to watch they go for the ball, so it's not intentional. Intentional's 2, and the ball out of bounds.
Matt George is somebody who can use up some fouls because that's his first. Justin King will go to the line. Good move, of course, by AG, and I'm sure that's why Coach Andrea called that timeout, to tell him, get that inbounds into our free throw shooters, like Justin King. He's the guy you want at the stripe now. Minute 1 left. AG will move to 3 and 4 in the section if they hang on to this one. And back above 500 overall in the year at 8 and 7. King hits it. And the loss will drop Uniontown to 1 and 6 and 6 and 9 overall on the season. Did I say 4 and 3? I meant to say 3 and 4. I thought that's what I said, yeah.
You may have said 3 and 4.
Well, at any rate, if not, we'll say it now. Yeah, 3 and 4 in the section, which if Kiski defeated Latrobe tonight, we figure they probably did. At home, you'll probably know that already. Ryan Turner, 3-ball corner pocket in Uniontown, calls a quick timeout. Turner's first points off the bench, and it's an 8-point game. And at home, you probably know the result, of course, of Friday night's Kiski game. If Kiski won, then that means Albert Gallatin tied with Kiski for that 4th and final playoff spot at the midway point. And Coach Andrea said during the pregame, we're not thinking about playoffs, we just want to win a game. I understand that, but once you get into the second half of the season, certainly playoffs have to be on your mind.
Well, let's be honest here. Everybody wearing an AG or Uniontown uniform or sitting on one of those benches looks at the standings every Sunday, either in another newspaper or in the Morning Herald, the Herald Standard, whenever it's in. Let's be honest about it.
Absolutely.
I mean, if the standings were in there every day, they would look every day at the standings. But you're right. You need to just play one game at a time and let the chips fall where they may.
Inbounds now, and a foul will be called on George and McGurko. We'll go to the line. Shout out to Daryl Thornton, who just walked past us here. Daryl, of course, former German Uhlin football and basketball standout. Led the WPIAL in scoring as a football player for Ron Reifenberg's German Uhlins.
Ron's enjoying his retirement.
Yes, he is. Well-earned retirement.
Yeah.
Principal at AG South until recently.
Long-time educator in the AG school system.
He was my phys ed teacher.
You did phys ed too?
Absolutely.
Boy. No wonder he has gray hair. Actually, he does. He looks pretty good. He's in pretty good shape. I know Ron works out a lot, and he doesn't look his age.
I would like to be in that kind of shape when I reach that age. And don't you say I'm almost there. even though I am. McGurko hits them both. He's made all 4 of his free throws. 10-point AG lead. Thomas, nice shot, falling away to put it over Alston. That was good. And another quick foul. I think this will be George again. He's committed 3 real quick, but again, that's why he's out there. 8-point game. At this point, it'll take a miracle, but it's happened. All AG needs to do is just keep making the free throws. Salt this one away. But that one drops out. Justin King, 8 for 12 tonight from the line. Nine-point AG lead. George, they'll just let him drive through, but he missed the shot. Who touched it last? Thomas. And folks, I think that's just about going to do it. Foul called on Turner. And the goodbye chants from the Colonial Crazies. Albert Gallatin led most of the way. Uniontown had 3 short-lived leads in the first half. But it's been AG most of the way, and they led by as much as 15. Uniontown got to within 3 here in the third quarter. Some late dramatics by the Red Raiders. But the Colonials say save the drama for your mama. This one's over. 10-point lead as King hits it from the stripe. Well, Uniontown at 1-6. Humble will be called off for the offensive foul. But you know what? In this section, and Uniontown's lost a lot of close games, they could still turn this around and make a playoff run.
I don't think there's any question, Chuck. They're only a play or 2 away in most of their games from winning. This is one of the highest scoring games in the district this year. AG comes out and they should feel good about this win.
3-2, one and done. There's your final. AG led by 10 at the half, and they pretty much just held on to it the whole way. The final score, the Albert Gallatin Colonials 86, the Uniontown Red Raiders 75. We go courtside to wrap things up. By the way, wait a minute, before we go, we got to announce our Davis & Davis player of the game for tonight. Could there be no doubt? It is, of course, Juwan Alston, which means I'm going to need a stepladder for the post-game interview. We'll be back right after this on Herald Standard Television Sports.
Kopek Insurance would like to recognize the hardworking professionals of the Albert Gallatin Area School District. From the bus drivers who safely transport kids to school every morning, to the custodial staff who proudly clean the buildings at night, and everyone in between. Kopek Insurance would like to thank those who make us proud to support Albert Gallatin.
Down on the court with the winning coach and a couple of the Colonials. Big victory tonight for Albert Gallatin. Good way to end the first half of the season.
Yeah, Chuck, I'll tell you, last Friday night before we took the court at Norwin, we talked before that game, and I told the kids, listen, we need 2 out of 3. And Norwin's a tough place to start. We lost by 1 up there. We went to Penn Trafford Tuesday and won, and then so we got our 2 out of 3. That's what Justin Olson said in the locker room. Coach, we got the 2 out of 3.
You said before the game that defense has been fine all year. You need to find some offense. You found it tonight.
Yeah, we did. I mean, I don't know what we scored, 85 points. That's unreal. But, I mean, so I told Rob after the game, you know, nobody's scored on us like that. We just couldn't stop them at times. And I'll tell you, his kids, you know, they were down, but they came back. You know they're going to come back because that's how Robbie played. And they came back, and I told Humble after the game, you know, they never quit. And they got it to 3. And, boy, I was over there thinking, oh, my goodness, what's going to happen here?
All night long, though, they didn't seem to have an answer for this big guy behind me in the middle. And also, the gentleman behind him came off the bench and came out big for you guys.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, if you look at Juan has matured so much. And if you look at the last 4 games, Chuck, Hempfield here, he put up a triple-double. Okay, we go to Norwin, he has 29 points and 13 rebounds. At Penn Trafford, he had 29 points and 21 rebounds. And tonight, he probably had over 30, and I know he had another double. I mean, he's playing under control. He's using all his moves, and you know, Juan can hit the outside shot and handle the ball. That's what really makes him attractive to a lot of the colleges that come looking at him.
Don't worry, he didn't hear any of that, so he's not going to get a big head.
I don't tell him. You know, I don't say enough good things about him because I gotta have him next year again.
And of course, Jawan, we'll talk to you in 1 second. Let me reach across you here for just 1 second. You're fine. Mark Marshall, big production off the bench. Big game tonight.
Yeah, it was big. I mean, we had to step up because it's Uniontown, so we had to play big.
And of course, you know, plenty of guys here to score some points. You're looking to do some other things to contribute and some big rebounds tonight.
Yeah, well, he said that we had the rebound when we didn't call timeout, so we did what we could.
I'm going to ask you to back up. Let's sneak Justin King in here real quick. And Justin, of course, made some big free throws down the stretch and helping to distribute the ball. I guess what? Just get it to this guy as much as you can?
Yeah, definitely. They were outside, so we got to get it in the post somehow.
Looking for a big run now the second half of the year?
Yes, sir. Very.
Congratulations, Juwan. Get in here. Our Davis & Davis player of the game. Another big performance tonight. And particularly, we expected on the defensive end. Played very well on the offensive end tonight.
Yes, I was just starting to feel it first half, and just carried over to the second half, and came out with a win.
Now, they made a little run at you guys in the fourth quarter. They did make it interesting.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be tough because of a rival game, so I knew they was going to fight back into the game. It was going to be close at the end.
Does that make it even a sweeter win to win against a team that, I mean, you know these kids, you play against these kids all the time?
Oh, yes, definitely, because we know them a lot. We see them all the time, and it's a big rival game, and we got the bragging rights right now, so wait until next time we meet.
Juwan, I talked to you longer, but my arm's falling asleep. I'm losing all the blood in it, so we got to go. Congratulations, guys. Good win. Good luck the rest of the way, and we'll see you down the road.
All right, thank you.
Back with a final word right after this.
Everyone has a cell phone. Do you? Stay in touch with your teenager with a Cricket cellular phone from PT&E Wireless. PT&E Wireless is your local authorized Cricket dealer located on Route 51 in the Uniontown Giant Eagle Plaza. Cricket plans start at just $35 a month with unlimited minutes, unlimited text messaging, and unlimited long distance. And best of all, there's no contract and no credit check. Finally, a cellular plan designed for a teenager. Stop in and let one of our knowledgeable staff help you pick the right plan.
Chuck Durso back down on the court with Jess Hudson, 86-75. Jess Albert Gallatin with a big win to stay in the playoff hunt.
And you interviewed three of the key reasons why. And, of course, we talk a lot about Alston. He's their big player. But they got good support from other people over the course of the last couple games. Alston, 33 points unofficially. And AG ends up shooting about 50% from the field. And unofficially 33 for 40 from the foul line. That's about 83%. So those numbers right there are playoff-type basketball numbers.
Yeah, that's good at any level. You don't see pros doing that often in a game in these days particularly. Certainly no answer inside for Juwan Alston, although not too many teams do.
Well, at 6'7", 6'8", you've got to put a ball